cares about the stupid stock market? Today we're going to talk about Star Wars. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to make some connections to the market, but today we're going to talk to JR whether we trade like Jedi? Should we trade like the Sith? Should we trade like Jar Jar Binks? Is Yoda useless? These are all important topics we are going to cover today. So JR, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Michael. Thank you.
Okay, so
Beautiful day in the markets.
yeah, so we're actually going to show you some chat room messages from JR's trading room today. They're having a grand old time there. But with the passing of James Earl Jones, you know, JR and I are both Star Wars fans. We decided to come together and sort of have a little discussion about lessons we can take from the Star Wars universe. And so JR, just to kick it off, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
It's got to be Empire.
Why is that?
Because the Empire wins.
And that's a good thing?
Yeah. Look, see, once you start to pay income taxes, you understand that the rebels were just a bunch of rabble-rousers, okay, modern-day version of Antifa. And the Empire, they're the Austrian economists, they're the supply-siders. They're just trying to ensure peace and order in the galaxy to ensure free trade. They're basically the NAFTA and EU put together of galactic economics.
Wait, so JR, did you see Clerks?
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, that reminds me that whole discussion in Clerks about the roofing contractors that were killed when the Death Star was blown up.
Well, that's funny. You know what? I forgot about that. Such a good movie.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna start. We're gonna sort of go through topic by topic. First, we're gonna talk about the Jedi. Now, if you jump into like the Star Wars prequels in particular, you'll see that the Jedi have a lot of problems. So they're kind of emotionally detached, allegedly selfless, philosophical, definitely sanctimonious. I think we can all agree on that. So, JR, do any of these qualities, are any of them good for trading?
No, they're a bunch of closeted narcissists. I'm not down with the rebellion, man. Absolutely not.
You're not down with the rebellion. Now, do you think it was the rebellion, like some unnamed political groups, do you think the rebellion was something that started with a good idea that sort of turned into a business and then a grift?
Look, I'm a Jewish guy from Brooklyn, okay? I need to see a bottom line. I need to see quarter over quarter growth. I need to see profits. I need to see law and order in the streets of the galaxy, right? None of this, let's dye our hair pink and rabble rouse. I need to see order. Besides, think about this, okay? Would you rather be able to choke out a guy without any Brazilian jiu-jitsu, just with the, or twirl around in a white kimono and a laser sword? I've taken sides, man. I'm sorry. I just can't with these people.
So you've gone like full Sith?
Yeah, the first year I had to pay income taxes, I was like, you know what? Palpatine was right. That's it.
So you think the Republic would be a worse ruling force than the Empire?
Yeah, they turned it into Venezuela within 2 fiscal quarters.
All right, lady, I just want to make sure everybody knows that the opinions stated on this event are JR's and not that of T3 Live. So yes.
Supply side economics, come on, man.
Wait, what? All right, why are we bringing economics into this? Is there a more useless field in the world than economics?
That's a good question. I would say probably U.S. congressman.
All right.
Other than that, I get. Anyway, I'm going to get you into trouble, man.
We
might need to bleep this whole thing.
Listen, they've been trying to get rid of me for years. I don't think this is going to put it over the top just yet. Okay, so then we're going to talk about the Sith. Now, the Jedi have their problems, but the Sith are not exactly perfect. They're always killing each other for power. Like literally murdering each other because they all want to be in charge. They're selfish, emotional, distrustful. They're desperate for power. They're also
Hmm.
realistic. They also they kind of understand human nature on a level that Jedi do not. So Jr., it sounds like you are definitely siding with the Sith in this whole thing.
Look, the Sith. It all goes back to the Romans. Okay, Star Wars is basically Cassius killing Caligula over and over again in different dark costumes. It all goes back to the Romans. Okay, they were the greatest ever, and yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of palace intrigue. You know, it's good. Survival of the fittest. Good.
Okay, all right. So I know one personal evolution I've had is I find Yoda to be the most overrated Star Wars character by far. Um, because, and I think this does apply to trading because we do hear a lot of like mindless platitudes. Because like Yoda tells Anakin, train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. And Anakin's like, how? And Yoda's like, "Rrr."
Yeah, he's short, fat, bald, and lazy. If I want to look at that, I can just watch Seinfeld reruns. I mean, it's a 2.5 foot midget with a sword. I'm not particularly impressed. I'm sorry. just, I'm not. That's right. I said it. I'm just not. I'm just
All
not.
right. So, lady, where I have a feel we're going to get some very nasty messages in the T3 live.
I get angry emails
Second.
every day, Michael. I'm immune at this point.
Okay, so I'm going to assume you're more a fan of this Palpatine fella.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. What are you talking about?
And why is that? Why is he the GOAT?
Because he's just like a good day trader, right? He's able to bend all interrelations, all markets to his will. He's the ultimate, Roman emperor.
Yeah,
You do realize all of Star Wars is just the story of Rome, right? Republics, empires, palace intrigue.
I mean, I always thought of it kind of as like pretty standard Western in space. And I mean, I know George Lucas was making a lot of, with the way he designed things, a lot of references to the Vietnam War and things. But apparently, all right, I just don't understand why you would admire Palpatine so much, because he's trying, he wants this highly centralized government controlling everything. He doesn't want worlds doing what they want to do. Also hated non-humans. Yeah, and all right, Jeff has a good comment here. Lots of contradictions here, bending the market to your will. Yeah. What day trader has ever bent the market to his will? Did George Soros did it like once?
Hey, you got to shoot for the stars. Speaking of one of my personal heroes, that guy's one of the goats, man.
George
He was
Soros?
like, British government, I'm taking you down.
Okay, this is interesting.
What bigger gangster is there than George Soros? I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm just saying he's like the Al Capone of traders.
Yeah, there are lots of contradictions. So you don't like all these, left-wing radicals, aka the rebellion, led by Dullard Farm Boy. But then
I like left-wing radicals that post quarterly profits. Right, quarter over quarter growth. I'm all for it. I don't care if you're right, left, center.
Okay, so let me get this straight, JR.
Bottom line, baby.
I'm getting very, very upset right now. So, based on your logic,
yes,
you would be okay with whoever was funding the rebels behind the scenes, like the George Soros of Star Wars. You think there wasn't a George Soros paying for X-wings and proton torpedoes and stuff?
I'm sure there was an equally creepy lizard-looking dude that was funding the rebellion. Absolutely.
And you would this is, I think this is, I really hope there are members of the Momentum Express VTF here, because I think we're getting a very interesting look inside JR's mind, because I think he
bottom line,
very
baby.
Power hungry. He wants to be an emperor himself.
I'm looking to conquer. Exactly.
And he doesn't care what kind, because it's like, if he's Palpatine or he's George Soros, he doesn't care.
No.
All you care about is power, JR. That's always been my problem with you.
It's all
It,
about that P&L, baby.
it's just like a politician. Disgusting.
Exactly.
This whole
Yeah.
thing. This is, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize to everybody.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
just
love
came
this
from an
when I was.
Illuminati meeting, so I'm really juiced up right now. You got my defenses.
Yeah,
Low.
T3. We are thinking about launching some kind of a secret society. All
There
right,
you
so
go.
let's talk about our friend Luke Skywalker,
Oh God.
most exciting hero in the universe. Now, he said, confronting fear is the destiny of a Jedi. Is this also the destiny of a traitor?
Listen, he's a soy boy with daddy issues. I'm not into this whole Luke Skywalker worship. I mean, he spent half the movie talking about his daddy and how he's all butthurt about it. Let's move on. You're gonna start a revolution. Less yapping, more Boston Tea Party. You know what I mean?
So
Too
you're
much.
telling me that you don't value a strong father figure in the home. Is that what you're saying?
No, I value a strong father figure in the home. I'm a very strong fatherly figure. Do you know that I have my son day trading with me every morning? We're family values, baby. Quarter over quarter profits. A very strong fatherly figure. But do you really want to listen to some over adult emo boy talk about his dad? Is he better than his dad? Is he not better? It's too Greek. Let's go with the Romans. The Greeks were all about the daddy issues. The Romans were about power. That's why they prevailed. I don't want to watch a Sophocles play.
Well, okay. Well, then, Jr. As you know, I'll recall a famous line from The Sopranos. And the Romans, where are they now?
You're
Italy is.
looking at him.
Do you see? Have you been to Italy? Have you seen how disorganized and goofy it is? I'm half Italian, so I'm allowed to say this. Have you seen how goofy Italy is as a country?
Nothing works, but it's freaking awesome. I would retire to Italy in a heartbeat. Florence, Tuscany, they're doing it the right way, man.
Yeah,
Trust
I think
me.
you.
I'm just
Yeah, they have amazing food, but nothing works. So okay,
yeah.
so all right, so I now we should talk about our good friend Han Solo, because whenever it's time to play Star Wars, everybody wants to be Han Solo because he's the badass. JR, do you think about the odds?
All day, that's all I think about is the odds.
And but can like obsessing over the odds distract you?
No, that's what I do is I obsess over the odds. I have odds for every single setup and every scenario carefully cataloged. It's my life obsession.
So what you're saying is that Han Solo would be an unprofessional, unprofitable, terrible trader because
Yeah, but
he doesn't want to hear about reality.
look, the day trader in the room is Palpatine. He's the GOAT, all right? You have to just let go and accept it, all right? Han Solo is the novice trader, gets washed out of the market in 6 months. Palpatine lives to fight another day, every day. He's a man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, skill, but power-wise, I mean, if Palpatine was like a human, he would be inside the exchanges, like messing with computers the way he wanted, or manipulating people behind the scenes. I mean, it's like, aren't day traders
That
more
doesn't
react?
happen.
You see, I think this is. I feel like until now, I've had no idea who JR is. Now, he seems like a very nice guy. All he cares about is power. You could see he has no allegiance.
I'm a nice
Except
guy
for
till you're
power
on the other
itself.
side of my trade. That's how it goes.
So, so when did you discover that accumulating power was the most important thing? And why do you hold on to this failed Roman Empire so much?
What's that?
Why do you hold on to this failed Roman Empire so much? It obviously.
What makes you think they just had a bad spinoff? Okay, they had a bad spinoff from the East, and then they had some issues with the Visigoths and some supply chain issues. All right, but the Roman corporation lasted 800 years and left the footprint. We're at the 250-year mark. I think it's pretty bold to criticize the Romans. I think they did pretty well as far as empires are concerned. I'm a big fan of the Romans. They
Okay,
did it the right way.
I'm gonna disagree. There is no comparison because back
Okay.
then, like there was no mail. You could not like mail a letter. If like how did there was no news. So that was more like 800 years back then is like 6 weeks today. So it's absolutely nothing. So the success of the United States is like a million times more impressive than the Romans.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in Europe and I'm walking on a road and somebody has to point out to me that the road I'm walking on is over 2,000 years old. Let's see if I-90 is still standing in the year 2224. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. You know what I mean?
Okay, so their
I'm just
roads.
saying.
So they built some good roads. Maybe they should have had other priorities. Do you think?
Can you imagine the logistical nightmare of having to manage an empire that what it's like 30-40% of the Earth's surface on pure analog technology, freaking carrier pigeons and dudes on horseback? It is a truly magnificent feat of logistics. Very analog, but I mean, just imagine having to do that today. We'd fall apart like a cheap suit within 48 hours of electricity. The Romans, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
don't know.
respect the Romans.
I have to side with the United States. I mean, Jr. thinks ain't sure. I mean, I just think the United States is superior. United States, we have enemies all over the world with technology we might not even know about. North Korea, China, Russia, all these countries have tons of advanced computer hackers. God knows what else.
Well,
And
you're
we're the
talking
most
to a guy with the
advanced.
American flag on his wall, so I don't disagree. I'm just saying, Romans,
I
gotta
know.
respect their achievements.
I don't know. I'm just not impressed.
Okay. We agree to disagree.
So I mean, so Jr. We do hear often, like modern times, people talking about the United States empire falling. Lots of comparisons to Rome. Do you think that is possible in our lifetimes?
Uh have you read the Neil Howe book, The Fourth Turning?
I have not.
You have to read The Fourth Turning. Come on. The
What would
Fourth
that?
Turning, An
What would that
American
be?
Prophecy. It basically talks about the cycles of American history and how every 80 years we go through a big, um, they call them rendezvous with destiny. So, 1860, 1940, right? We go through great periods of turmoil that reshape everything about our culture, our economics, our governance, our institutional fortitude, our laws. And we're about to face what Neil Howe calls another fourth turning. And I'm not really doing much justice to his book. I'm telling you, you should read this book. It is
All
a
right.
fascinating analysis of history.
All right. There is a problem with that.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Can
Here
you
we go.
guess what it is? Remember, Jr. is much smarter than me. He went to Columbia. He's like a genius. I'm
Oh
a
God.
moron. Now we're talking things happen every 80 years. So, but based on the age of the United States, we're talking about like a sample size of 3. So how do you
No, you could
separate
you could
that?
you could trace it. You could trace it back to the 1790s. The formation of our Continental Congress, the Constitution, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so we're talking like what, like 3 or 4 events.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like that's more like that's well within the realm of coincidence.
Listen, what I'll do is I'll keep an open slot for you in my North Idaho bunker, okay? And you can tell me, I can tell you I told you so then, all right? In the meantime,
We
4:30.
we are gonna have a tinfoil episode one day. We're gonna talk. We're gonna go
We
full
have to.
conspiracy theories.
Absolutely.
Do you think like the United States will fall as like the world superpower?
No, I'm super bullish on the United States. I think we're just going to go into a moment of great upheaval.
Driven by what?
I mean, pick your poison. We have a massive retooling of our supply chains, retooling of labor as we know it. I mean, you have Elon Musk talking about 2 billion robots running around taking every possible job, and he calls it an age of abundance. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I mean, we have a complete retooling of the geopolitical order, the global mercantile order, uh, potential collapse of the dollar, and a country so divided that many people are screaming for a national divorce. I would call that sort of a formula for a great upheaval, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, like in terms of division, it's hard to tell whether people are more divided or there's more attention given to like a hyper loud minority. I mean, like if you go like back through history, there's been massive crazy mudslinging in political campaigns, like going back to the 1700s. I don't know. All right, Lawrence is
Something
asking on Facebook, what do you think will happen? Like, do you think there's like we're headed for some kind of like reset as a nation?
I definitely think so. Look, I'm very bullish on the United States, but we have a lot of very serious challenges ahead. I mean, just look at our unfunded liabilities from Social Security and Medicare alone. What is that, $200 trillion?
Yeah, I mean, like the thing I always wonder about those is, like, because I think about the like in New York City, there's like that debt clock. I don't even know if it's there anymore, but I remember that in the '90s, and it was like the whole implication being that um like that the debt is a problem. But I mean, do you think like have you ever considered that the can be kicked down the road indefinitely? Like, what if we never have to pay the piper? If like we can just keep growing the debt and just printing more money until like the end of time.
I think you look at jet to GDP ratios of over 100% like we had in World War II, and we were in a very different place as the rest of the world burned, and we were the only economic superpower and a super colossal currency. Uh, we can continue to kick the can down the road as long as we're the world's reserve currency and the petrodollar reigns supreme. We're seeing some very troubling signs from BRIC alliances and non-dollar denominated trade globally that could jeopardize all of that very, very quickly. And as Hemingway once said, how do you go bankrupt? Very, very slowly, and then all of a sudden, completely, right? So, yeah, nobody like the the Carthaginians said, Scipio who? Right before they were wiped off the face of the earth. So, yeah. This conversation is turning into a real downer, bro. You want to talk about some charts?
Yeah. So
All
what's
right.
going on in the room today? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this turned out more chaotic than I expected, but I've been finding it fun because I finally know the real JR, and now I know he is a Sith Lord,
You
and he
got to
needs
produce, baby. Produce.
to be reported.
All right. Anyways, I freaking love trolling you, bro. It's the best.
That's
Best.
fine.
Best.
I think the issue is the that between like the whole thing, the Sith and the Jedi.
Mhm.
Um, see, the Jedi were idiots and completely useless in a lot of ways. If you like,
You're nuts.
especially especially if you like, I like because I've really dug into the books and you see that that's one thing where the movies failed is showing like the complete incompetence and uselessness
Total chaos.
of the Jedi.
Yes.
Okay, Christopher saying video going ballistic. Jr. taking names on wave up and down. Okay, so do you want to pull up your charts or do you just want to yap?
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's do it.
All
Hold
right,
on.
click present.
Share. 1 second. Play the music on hold. Share screen. Window. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so This, can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we're
See my
good.
screen? All right. So we were coming into the market today. Okay. And we had some real thin structure up here in the 459 handle yesterday. I told the room, our upside target was 460.41. This anchored VWAP right up here. And, we're looking for a potential leg two continuation of the 464 handle, but we started to see some really heavy prints to the downside, and we saw the SPOOs really fail the top of the calendar channel around 9:30, and then you just had a very like all-in short type of move on heavy volume that ate the tail right through 54.69. So what we were watching out for, so actually came into NVIDIA long in the pre-market, and our target was the R2 pivot right here, 111.91, and then potentially 112. Look at that V bottom breakout to the upside. It's beautiful. So we took profits into 11.93. So basically nailed the move off the pre-market. And then as NVIDIA failed to hold the secondary anchor at the 1040, and the cues were basically, we're just reading the tape in the cues and watching this point of control here at 456.30, just barely holding in. You had that shakeout bar, and then you came back into the overhead supply zone at 457.70 and could not penetrate higher. So there's a falling wedge snapback here that failed. Okay, so I'm going to make this thick so you can see it. So we were watching, as scalpers and day traders, we're often looking for what's failing to happen, right? So based on that important support level, okay, so these orange bars right here are falling wedge. So based on this important support level right here on 457.03 to 456.70, we should have snapped back past 457.74. And instead, they failed it 3 times. So I told the room I'm going short NVIDIA, and we captured this beautiful move right here. So off the 110.36 handle all the way to the closing pivot at 108.14. So we caught the top there perfectly, and then nailed the ABCD short setup all the way down here to 108.07, and that kind of closed out my day pretty nicely. It was a good, nice, solid trade.
Okay. Look, I'll give JR some credit because he's been telling me I need to stop asking about IWM because it's just such a piece of hot New York City in August garbage. Okay, so did the CPI report change anything for you today? Do you care at all?
No. The market needed to back that. So in the room, we were discussing this in real time. So this is your. Let me just take out some of the stuff because it's really hard to see for non-initiates. So this was your accumulation low in the Qs right here at 448.92. So typical white coffee type of selling climax, retest, secondary test, and this is your spring right here. So we had a jump across the creek, a retest, right? So this was your initial sign of strength outside the accumulation zone and your secondary high. So we marked 451.57 today, right? And I told the room, this is the pivot to watch out for, okay? So we were short heavily into these lows, right? And as we approach this thinner structure here, you can see this is the volume profile today. Very thin structure into these lows, meaning less transactional interest in breaking this 451.57 pivot. And I told the room, guys, be very careful going with shorts down here because you're into a major demand zone off of a very strong accumulation type of sequence, and you could get seriously hurt trying to get catch a second leg lower. The oscillator was also flashing all kinds of signals. We had very clear Uh, very clear oscillator divergence right here, and a volume price divergence as well. You had a big red bar on a tiny little doji, meaning they just could not get this past the level, and that's when a lot of our traders who actually went long and crushed this move higher. So the market needed to backtest this really important level, because in my opinion, what to me it signifies is the higher pivot low off this accumulation campaign by longs off the 448 pivot, right? But until these lows are taken out, we're most likely going to be somewhat range bound in the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 until something else happens. So this is the range we have to work with now, which is plenty of room. I mean, this market is replete with opportunities if you're a capable technician and a short-term trader. We're just calling these levels out with a great deal of accuracy, and so far today, no losses as far as entries and exits. So I'm very happy with this kind of environment. I know a lot of traders really hate this kind of chop. I think it's replete with opportunity and a ton of momentum.
Yeah, JR does not have stormtrooper aim when it comes to the market. Okay, JR, how about gold? So we've talked about gold quite a bit. It's doing. I mean, gold is outperforming this year. It's second best ETF, aside from the semis. What do you see with gold from here?
So we called the reversal in gold this morning, right? We have a reversal wedge. I call this an inside pivot low or a Quasimodo. Okay. And you can see here on this big selling candle, you had a glaring oscillator divergence as well, right? You can see right there. See that? And I told the room, over 25.37, 25.38, you got to move to at least VWAP in the GC1, okay, the gold futures, and potentially a move back to 25.47. And I said that primarily because in terms of multi-time frame analysis, right, we had a tweezer bottom off the 21, and then another set of tweezer bottoms off a higher pivot low, and it seemed to me like for some reason gold, you have tweezer bottom, tweezer bottom, tweezer bottom. It seems to me like they're back testing the prior low and rocketing higher, which is a really, really bullish behavior. And I imagine we're going to be retesting 25.70 here in very short order. So overall, very bullish action in gold.
Okay, guys, we are going to wrap up in a second. I just want to show you some messages from the room. So a lot of people are not having fun in this market, but you can see on the screen, this is from yesterday. Tuck Apple, thanks for calling out. JR, your level of scalping is above most of us. JR does phenomenal teaching and explaining setups in real time. This is the JR, by the way, this is my best compliment ever. This is the most verbose and consistent room I have seen.
Yeah. Shut up, man. Stop talking so much.
Best room, best teacher in JR. And JR, you are our big toe. We will have to use that testimonial. JR is the big toe.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea. I think it means you are the most powerful, but you are our big toe. I don't know what we're gonna do with that, but you are the big toe.
My traders crack me up so much. It's like the peanut gallery is brutal, man. We got some really funny guys in there.
Yeah, the room is hilarious. That's one of the biggest benefits of joining is, yes, you can make money, but the laughs. I was red, now green off that short. Ridiculous. Tesla short was marvelous. JR, you played this perfectly. Thanks for the NVIDIA long and short, blah, 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 blah. So if you want to join, guys, go to t3live.com/JRlive, t3live.com.
Can I plug one more thing in?
Yeah, of course.
We have a scalping course coming up on Saturday. Everyone wants to know what the hell it is I'm doing day in and day out. So I spent many sleepless nights putting hundreds of slides together. Just remember, you asked for this. We're going to sit. It's going to be very thorough. It's going to be hours and hours of excruciating detail on my scalping methodology, hotkeys, patterns, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome, guys. I'm gonna put our email address on the screen in just 1 second. So if you want to learn about that, you can. Just 1 second. So, JR, do you believe in the Force? Is it a real thing?
No, that's ridiculous. I don't believe in magic. What? I believe in petroleum products.
Well, I mean, Palpatine used the Force, and he's one of your heroes. So
He's
how?
one of my heroes, but I mean, let's not be silly.
So even our heroes can have weaknesses. Is that what you're saying? So,
Absolutely.
guys, if you want to learn about the scalping course, you can go to info@t3live.com, info@t3live.com. And so, JR, we found the source of the big toe. Do you want to
Okay.
guess what movie the big toe reference is from?
My left foot?
No.
Oh.
Friend John Boston says the big toe sergeant Holka from Stripes. Watch the movie like 100 times.
That's a good movie. Okay.
Okay, guys, everybody, thank you for joining us. Next week, we are going to discuss the parallels between trading and Nicolas Cage's amazing late 90s run. So thank you very much. We appreciate you for coming out.
Take care, man.